me. Are we... Where are we now? I don't think we're in Aizu. Something has to happen before we reach Aizu. Oh, yep, there we go. It was decided that our men would travel to Aizu, and we moved from Nagarayama to the Nagaoka mansion to establish a safe base of operations. Luckily for ourselves, we managed to move our entire organization from Edo before the Imperial Army marched standing troops to the city gates. Souma, how are you feeling? You seem a little unwell.
平気です。それよりも市川にいる斉藤さんへの報告書を書かなくては。
I began to worry as Soma's voice trailed off. He looked haggard with pale, sunken cheeks, and I thought he would collapse at any moment. No, let me write the report in your stead. Please, take some time to rest.
これぐらいなら耐えられます。先輩こそ休んでいてください。
Even as the harsh sunlight burned his pale skin, Souma maintained his poise and sense of duty. Having someone else take up his mantle, especially someone who had served as his mentor, was a blow to his confidence, and so he wholeheartedly refused. However, a body could only withstand so much. Then the jink showed its ugly head. Ah, there we go. Round 2 officially. There it is. Souma's walk began to stagger, and he leaned his arm against the wall as he huffed in agony. I was a few steps in front of him and turned to see him over my shoulder, and a small gasp squeaked from my mouth as I noticed his hair change color. Souma, are you having a seizure?
平気です。放っておけば収まりますから。
I had to, and say it with me for like the 100th fucking time, give him blood. Time was of the essence. Without giving it a second thought, I drew out my kodachi and sliced across my palm. Here, Souma, drink my blood.
雪村先輩。
Souma turned his face away from my hand in disgust as he struggled to catch his breath. Please, you have to treat yourself before it's too late. What if someone sees you like this?
わかりました。
Souma shuffled his feet as he stumbled behind me, covering my eyes with his hands. Then the moist, delicate touch of his eager tongue tickled my hand as he lapped up my dripping blood.
痛みますか？
Not at all. It'll seal itself in a matter of minutes.
どうして先輩は俺なんかに。
In between his panted breaths, I could hear his weak voice quiver beside my ear. His reluctance to drink came from a place of good intentions, but I had to insist for both our sakes. Let everything else go. All that matters is getting through this, okay?
わかりました。
After a few minutes, the aches plaguing his body seemingly ceased, and he stopped convulsing. And immediately with this music, after his pain subsided, we went to our stations, as he had been defined by Hijikata-san before our arrival in Aizu. But something peculiar happened.
雪村先輩、局長はどちらにいらっしゃいますか？
Oh, Kondo-san. Reading in his room, if I remember correctly. Do you have some business with him? I can go fetch him if you'd like.
いえ、急ぎの用事というわけではないんですが。
Is something bothering you? Lines of worry wrinkled on Souma's stern face, and he pursed his lips in silence. No! I don't need hiccups, please. I tilted my head to coax an answer out of him, but...
何でもありません。気にしないでください。俺、向こうで剣術の稽古をしてますから、何かあれば声をかけてください。
Just as Souma spun around to head for the courtyard.
雪村君、相馬君、ここにいたんですか。
Shimada, what's the matter? You're sweating. Are you alright?
すぐに中へ入ってください。ここは敵に囲まれています。
Oh boy!
何ですって。
I fear the worst as our presence was requested. All of us were gathered in silence in the room. Kondo-san, Hijikata-san, Shimada, Soma, Nomura, and I sat in a circle, and the mood was grave.
敵にこの場所を突き止められてしまったというのは本当ですか。
ああ、まだ俺たちの正体には感づかれちゃいねえみてえだが
な。どうすりゃいいんです。俺たちだけで囲みを突破できるんですか。
敵兵は数百人はいる。全滅させるのはまず無理だ。
じゃあどうすれば。
Soma screamed out, and his sunken eyes shone in the candlelight. Then, an unlikely solution came to all of us by surprise.
俺が新政府軍に投降して時間を稼ぐつもりだ。
局長がそんな危険です。
新選組の近藤とは名乗らんさ。この辺りを警護している旗本だと言えば向こうも納得するだろう。
そんな。
No one else voiced their opposition, choosing to lower their eyes instead. So Soma turned towards Hijikata-san, who was brooding beside Kondo-san. Not a peep came from him, and Soma held back tears. I could only assume that he and Kondo-san had spoken prior to this conversation, but there was a hint of doubt flickering in his intimidating expression.
話は分かったな。それじゃ今のうちにさっさとここを脱出するぞ。
I don't want to leave Dad behind! But we have to leave Dad behind! Hijikata-san sped out his orders in curt fashion.
俺は行きませんよ。ここに残ります。
Nomura!
なんだと。
野村、お前。
旗本って名乗るのに家来が一人もいなかったら絶対怪しまれるじゃないですか。大丈夫ですって。こう見えても俺いいんだいいんだ。絶対に生
Thank
き
you
残ってみ
for
せます。
following, Dan. Nomura, you're relying on your own luck? Okay. I'm
本気なのかね、野村君。
当たり前じゃないですか。俺だって新選組大使ですよ。
じゃあ俺も残ります。二人を残して自分だけ逃げるわけにはいきません。
いい加減にしろてめえら。近藤さんが何のために投降するのか少しは頭を使って考えやがれ。
Hijikata-san's explosive outburst quieted the entire room, and both pages slunk back into their seats. The gist of Hijikata-san's point was immediately taken.
本気なんだな。
Nomura nodded sheepishly. It was an unexpected gesture, and Hijikata-san let out a stressed sigh.
近藤さんの付き添いでここに残していけるのは一人だけだ。お前は俺たちと一緒に来い。
そんな俺は。
相馬君、君には雪村君の護衛を頼みたい。彼女は心ならずも我々に関わることになってしまった人だからな。絶対に死なせてはならん。
The words seemed to take something out of Kondo-san, and The words seemed to take something out of Kondo-san, and Souma said in confusion.
それとも俺のような無能な局長の命令などを聞きたくないかね。
そんなことはありません。この相馬風、命に変えても雪村先輩をお守りいたします。
いい返事だ。
野村、近藤さんのこと頼んだぞ。
承知しました。副長たちも気をつけてください。
I don't want to leave Nomura behind either, but we have to leave him behind. God damn.
それでは行きましょう。
All the warriors stood up and hastily fled into the line towards the back entrance. Our light footsteps echoed throughout the common room, and I couldn't shake a ghastly premonition from my mind's eye. As I turned to look over my shoulder, I was met with Kondo-san's genial, compassionate eyes. He nodded, and I could sense the unwavering conviction burning behind his tender smile. I had to stop myself from shedding a tear, and went on to follow the rest of the men. Surely no harm would come to either Kondo-san or Nomura. Kondo-san was an excellent orator, and possessed enough sense to get themselves out of danger. I desperately repeated the sentiment in my mind, holding the image of their faces close to heart. We fled from Nagaoya Mansion in total darkness, and grass crunched underneath our feet as Hijikata led us into the nearby forest.
そこかしこに敵が嫌がるな。まとまって動くとすぐに見つけられちまう。手分けして進むぞ。島田、お前は俺と一緒に来い。
承知しました。
俺たちが敵を引きつける。相馬、お前は雪村を守りながら先に行け。
敵を引きつけるならラセスになれる俺の方が適任では。
相手は鬼や羅刹じゃねえ。人間だ。お前の命を削らねえと倒せねえような相手じゃねえよ。
So he says, but then his roots happened. Souma was seemingly dissatisfied with Hijikata-san's quick refusal, biting his lip from frustration.
わかりました。それでは後ほどまたお会いしましょう。
それじゃ、また後でな。
行きましょう、雪村先輩。俺の後ろから決して離れないでください。
So the husband we picked for this route is Souma Kazue right here. He's the one we're picking. I've never done his route before, so we're experiencing it for the first time. The sense of dread persisted, and my hands grew clammy for some inexplicable reason. Okay, got it. Both Souma and I ducked low to the ground, darting between thick tree trunks to keep our cover. Thoughts of fatigue began to roost in my mind, and just as I thought I couldn't take anymore, I was startled by footsteps in the distance.
先輩、木の陰に隠れましょう。
I immediately did as I was told, leaping behind a thick pine tree, careful not to step on any branches. A swath of Imperial soldiers dressed in tight-fitting uniforms raced through the rows of trees.
どうした？
いや、さっきこの辺りに人影が立ってたのが見えた気がするんだが。
なんだと？もしかすると隠れていた旗本の仲間かもしれんな。近くを徹底的に探すか。
Oh no. If he had spotted me, then they'll uncover... If he had spotted me, then he'll uncover us in no time. My knees wobbled in panic.
先輩、俺がおとりになりますから、その隙に逃げてください。
But I can't leave you.
他に方法がないんです。大丈夫です。人間が相手なら絶対に負けることはありませんから。
Then Souma scowled fiercely and leapt from behind a tree with the speed of a bullet.
何者だ？
Out of reflex, the officer jumped back and fired in our direction to scare us out from hiding. However... Look at him go! He's fast! Souma, having changed to his fury form, nimbly evaded the path of the bullet and charged for him.
なんだと？確かに今命中したはずなのに。
俺化け物め、またるか！
The soldier's panicked cry bounced in between the rows of trees, and he looked in every direction to locate wherever Souma had scurried off to. After verifying that there was a sizable distance between myself and the soldiers, I tried running. My vision was obscured by the darkness, causing me to roll my ankle off the edge of the ravine and tumble down the steep ridge. Oh, if I knew that, I would have screamed properly. Ow. My head was searing in pain, and I hesitantly opened my droopy eyelids, hoping no Imperial soldiers were in sight. I was alone and completely separated from Souma. I must do whatever I could to reunite with him. But my arms and legs were covered in scrapes and gashes, and the ridge was steep enough that traveling the way I came was practically unattainable. Walking around the entire ridge was my only choice. I dusted myself off, cracking the kink in my neck before beginning my ascent up the ridge. I steadied my aching feet on the loose, pebbly trail. Hey, isn't this... Uh-oh. How did we end up back here? Before I knew it, I had arrived back at the mansion.
雪村君、どうしてここに？
Fuck! Why are we here? Why are we back here? Kondo-san! Nomura! You see, I became separated from both Ichikato-san and Souma. They gazed at me in horror, and I began to regret my decision to hike in this direction. Was traveling down the opposite direction wiser? The look on Kondo-san's face said as much. My biggest concern, however, was being ill-prepared if I were to encounter an Imperial soldier. Not fucked rude. I'm just like, how did we get back to the place that we just escaped from? That we're supposed to be running away from. We're not supposed to be here. But we ended up here. Yeah. Oh no, wait. God, what are you telling us to do? You're telling us to do what? The answer is... stay here. Story, what are you trying to do? Give me a heart attack? What is going on? I'm staying put.
何言ってんだよ先輩。
This place is covered in Imperial troops. Even if I were to leave, I'd be spotted for sure. Besides, I have a feeling that Souma will come back for us. Just then, a voice echoed from behind me.
ここにいるのはお前たちだけか。我々の問いに答えてもらおう。
拙者大久保剛と申すものです。何なりとお答えしましょ
う。ここに兵を集め、怪しげな荷物を運び込んでいたというのは本当か？
誤解させてしまったのであれば申し訳ありません。私は旗本でして近隣の治安を守るため必要な兵や武器を集めていただけです。
この者たちは？
そちらの者は拙者の部下で、こちらは雇っていた昇進の者です。
I'm a handmaiden! Wait, I finally get referred to as a girl properly? Oh my god. Kono-san spoke with a calm, dignified bellow, and I made my esteem for his little ruse hidden. The Imperial soldiers, on the other hand, were far tougher to convince.
どうも怪しいな。本陣まで連れ帰って戦議させてもらうが構わんな。
もちろん構いません。
我々についてこい。もしおかしな真似をしたらただでは済まないからな。
The soldiers kept their rifles pointed towards us and escorted us out of the hall towards their main troop. I held my breath, fearing for Souma's life.